Aici începe discuția din 1985 cu Satyajit Ray.
Well, the
Actually, I couldn't finish it. 3-4 days shooting was done by my son, and he did the final mixing and everything.
I see.
So I fell ill before finishing it.
Yes. But when was it finished by your son? Some 6 months ago?
No, 1 year.
1 year already.
Yeah,
And it's released
it
only
was
now.
Playing in London for the last
Yes.
4 months.
And in Cannes also, I think it has.
It was
yes.
in Cannes.
And
My
why?
son went to
yes.
Cannes. I didn't
I
go.
see.
I couldn't go.
Yeah. But you feel better now.
Yes, I'm much
Yes.
better.
I can see it. Well,
It had to be political because without the politics, the story wouldn't come to an end. You know, the politics was so bound up with the relationship of the three characters that it had to be political. And in any case, the background was political, and there was these two friends who were discussing politics all the time, you see, so it was very much there. But it is a story about the turn of the century. The event took place in 1907.
1907, yes, 8, yes. But it looks very much alike with some events that take place, let's say, not
Yes,
nowadays.
that
but
is why I made
yes.
it.
But you had it in mind since 30 years.
Well,
No?
yes, but it has not been always in my mind. I thought of making it 30 years ago. I couldn't make it then. Good thing, because it was a bad script then. Now it's much better. And then I made other things. From time to time I thought of that, then pushed it back. Then this time everything was there.
Yes, my point is that the actuality of the subject kept actual, what I mean, that up to date. So
Exactly.
what does it mean to you in connected with India, you know?
Well, you see, we have seen political leaders like that very much, and this point of view, and the clash of the points of view. But it is also very much a love story.
Yes, I know. I like it for this side of politics because for me, this is one of the statements, in my opinion, that the films makes, or that's one the way it reached to me. That is, you can't have policy without culture. If you go to politics only to do politics, and this I think it's something very important in our era, where very many people go to politics without any culture at all. I don't know if you meant something like that, if it's
Well,
not
it
too
was
bold
possible.
to tell it.
Yeah, possible.
That's one of the things that made me very much...
But I was also trying to be as faithful to the novel as possible.
as possible, yes. The
It's
novel
not
is,
an
I don't know the
original
novel. It's in these terms. Yes, but it depends, you know, the stress you lay upon some scenes.
Yes.
Because the wooing moment, well,
yes.
it's something it's got it, you know, we journalists have this tendency to just to make similarities. It's a sort of the wooing of Richard III when he woos. It's not through love, but it's through other things, no?
Yes.
It's a wooing through politics. It's a
Yes.
wooing. And it's
You're right. Yes.
and in a way also it looks to me it's a second act to chess player, because they're also not so much as in other previous films of yours. You looked at this historical political background of India in
Yes,
its going.
that is what interests me. I like recreating such episodes, such the past historical and political events in the past. I like to recreate today, because not many people read Tagore anymore. And one of the intentions was to get them to know the story, which they have not read. Many have not
When
read.
was it published? In
1915.
2015.
1914, 15. It was translated in all languages.
Yeah.
I mean, German, French, Italian, Spanish, everything. How was the festival? Let me ask you a question.
I don't know what is your opinion in this direction. That is,
What is happening? What did you
there
say?
are not so numerous great films, you know, to say in a
Indian
festival.
films or
No,
the
in general,
competition films?
you know, in general, if you have to go in a festival and you are looking to find there 10 great films, you can't.
No, that's true. Never
see?
more than two.
Never more than two.
Never more than two. Maybe that is the general state of films in the world today.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, I think
Yeah,
so.
that is so.
I think so. Why do you think so? Because on the other hand, there are much more directors, much more cinema school.
Where?
Everywhere in the world. Much more young people interested in cinema. And also the number of films.
The tendency is to make films for the moment, not for posterity, not for future, not for... I think people are less ambitious now. I think they are ambitious in technical ways. Like you make science fiction movies like Star Wars and Close Encounters, you know. The ambition is now being directed in those directions. It's being channeled in those directions, you see, rather than the strength of subject and the depth of subject and understanding. I feel that is my impression going to festivals, is the same impression. I've been on many juries and it's so difficult. There's so many bad films that you are really disgusted at the end. Normally we would not see those films, you see.
Right.
But being on the jury, we are forced
You'll
to.
walk out, you know.
Yeah,
if you enter, you walk out.
I'll walk out after 10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
It
But
was
we are forced to sit down and watch them.
Yes, but also speaking of well, beautiful dress.
Yes,
So
yes,
they find this biased solution. They share the prize with the UK and Soviet Union. Both now in Belle Epoque, both same setting, same well, same curls, same necklaces, and but
Well, mine is Belle Epoque too.
it's all epoch. Absolutely. Yes, because it seems very up to date. You know, your subject now and the story is very
That's
striking. Speaking, well, we are in India, and speaking of India, what had happened now lately in some places,
Yes.
I don't know very well, but as what a foreign journalist can know, you know, you just have the impression, you got the impression that it's something that it happens now, and that's why so many bad things happens. Because, you know, it's just, let's say, uncultivated people and people without feeling getting into this business, which is politics, and everything gets spoiled in a way, you know. It's...
Sadhur Gopal Krishnan's film?
yes,
Mukha.
yes, I saw it.
It's good, I'm told.
Yes, it's interesting. You know, when foreseeing it, I because it's also very disappointing for young directors to see things like that, because they need the help of a certain prestige that is coming through festivals. And in a way it's disappointing, because they go back in their countries, and even for in a way.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's something like that in this world?
What?
Don't you think it's something like that in our world, that nobody wants to hear the complete truth?
Absolutely.
In a way.
Well, I'm glad for Abdul because I like him very much.
Yes.
He's a very serious filmmaker.
Yes, and I think it's one of the young directors that is taking, you know, in this school, which not many can. The way it's very well, its latest preoccupation in cinema.
Well, you see, I have been asked to take a little rest. So my son is also now a filmmaker. So he will make the next film, and I will be working in November '85.
Yes, but he will make the next film, but you are going to write the script, or...
I may be. He will be also working. I mean, we will jointly write it. But I will also be writing my own script. This time it will be a completely contrasted subject about contemporary, very poor people, bonded labor, that sort of thing.
You turn back to your initial...
Well, yes, well, more, but here also politics will come in because that is part of the story. I'm thinking of a particular novel which I've read, which I like very much.
It's an Indian novel.
Yeah, but it will have to be in Hindi. It's in India. It's a Bengali novel, but the setting is Bihar, so the language has to be Hindi.
So you'll have again this problem of partition and things like that?
Not partition,
No.
it's very contemporary, today.
Yes, but
Not
it's
partition.
not, well, I'm speaking if today life reflects the experience back 40 years
Yeah,
back.
but it is not so much that experience that I should concentrate on.
But what kind of politics you mentioned?
Well, actually there are two stories. One about the absolutely the lowest class, the very, very poor, who wait by the paddy field which is being harvested, and after harvesting, some paddies are left on the ground and they collect that and eat. You see, it's that kind of poverty, absolutely below the line poverty. And another about bonded labor, as I told you, about people who have been bought for life. They're practically slaves. They're working in someone else's field.
Nowadays,
Yes, nowadays there are many there.
Wow.
Bonded labor is still common
in agriculture,
in agriculture.
and
That's what I mean.
who buys them?
Well, they are really bounden to the owners of the fields, what we call jodhas. What do you translate? How do you translate jodhas? Landowners.
But they have so many lands now. It's not permitted to have many lands, so larger land. No.
No, it is still there.
It is
They
still there.
manage. That's why they want to enter politics, these landowners. They want to become a member of the legislative assembly. So in order to get some power. That's why they use the peasants they pay them money to attend their lectures and their speeches, political speeches. They show that there's a big crowd of people. Anyway, there are lots of other, the story is about a couple of people, a man and a woman who want to get married, who are bonded labor. They want to pay off their debts and be free again. And their efforts to do that.
That it's possible. You get them free.
It is not, as it turns out in the story. It is not.
But you think
they
it's even?
They hope that it is.
It's not even in reality, I think.
No.
No, you just told me about the landowners going into politics. What do you think about so many actors lately going into
Well, I
politics in
find
India?
it very funny. I'm amused. As if politics was... It's like politicians coming into films.
Yes.
It would be just as funny, you
It's
know.
funny, yes. You know, this film of yours, it also had a sort of feeling, how do you say this, to say things before, not a prophet, no, but when you have the insight, you know, to say things before, because your character, that is a good character, but your character in the movie comes also that he would have been like to be an actor, and he turned to be a politician.
Yes.
And in this way also, it's for me, you know, being in the present day, it makes a sort of hint to the present reality, you know.
It didn't strike me that way. Now, if I saw the film, it would strike me.
Well, that's what come out of
You are
discussions.
right.
No, because I was, you know, in a way struck by, at the beginning your films had not this political insight, you saw just life.
No.
And there were your ideas were there. But so, I think that life obliged you, you know, as an artist, I mean, to reach and to make the screen display a sort of historical philosophy, because it's not history as such, but you have a core
Yes, you're right.
and this is what it comes. Well, if you do think it's something else, I haven't asked you in this field, and you have a very well personal idea. If you are not too.
I can't think of anything offhand. No, I'm being interviewed every day by an Englishman who's writing a book about me.
Oh.
So I'm a little confused.
Yes,
In my head.
well.
I've been talking.
Yes, I can guess. Who is the Englishman?
There's a chap called Andrew Robinson. He's written some articles about me. But I told him that if you want to write a biography, you have to learn Bengali first. And he's learning Bengali.
He's learning?
trying
No, really?
desperately. But he has not made much progress.
But
I
anyway.
don't have much hope. But
And
he's-
why did you tell this?
Huh?
Why did you tell this? Because
No, you see, I don't only make films, I also write a great deal, stories.
yeah.
And if he wants to write a biography, he must know them. And even understanding my films, if you know the original language, you get the nuances more. In translations, you can get only, let us say, about 65%, not more than that.
You come, I think, now back to the idea you said we talked about. You told me 4 years ago about an artist not being able to make a film abroad, because I asked you why didn't you accept it to go to the States or other places you've been asked to, and you said I can't make films. I can make films only in India.
That's true. That is still true.
It is still true.
It's truer than ever.
Yes, because I see. Because if you make a British to learn Bengali to understand you, I can feel that it's true.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
You know this magazine, Sight and Sound?
yes, of course.
There is an article by me in their 50th anniversary number on the Western understanding of my films.
It's
It's called Under Western Eyes.
It's
Came out 2 years
it's
ago.
quarterly Sight and Sound.
It's a quarterly.
It's in 80.
Well, it's an important article.
Yes, in
1983 it
83.
came out.
I see. Well, I'll manage to have it.
1983,
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, and from speaking for the Indian cinema, you'll rate Adur the first one in a way. That is, you follow him mostly. And would you mention other younger of his generation?
Well, there are so many. Govind Nihalani is one. I was very impressed with Akrosh, his first film.
Yeah.
Second one also. The second one I have not seen, but that is supposed to be not very good. But the third one also is quite strong, you know. And there is, have you seen Par? Crossing the river.
No, I haven't, and I'm desperate.
Well, I'm told that it's good. He's an interesting director.
Yes.
He's a Bengali director from Calcutta. He's an interesting director. Buddhadev Dasgupta is an interesting director. And some I haven't seen, but I'm told. Well, Ketan Mehta, he had a film called Holi.
Yes.
Which I haven't seen. But I saw his first film, and I think he has talent. He's a gifted director. So I think there are about 8 or 10 who are definitely worth watching.
Well,
I'm sure given the opportunity they will make good films. I'm sure they will.
I see.
Which is quite a lot. I mean, there was nothing before. 10 years ago you couldn't say this.
Well, there was you.
Well, I have been there a long time. I'm considered passé.
I don't say it.
Well, anyway, by the young makers. Not that I mind it. They can say what they like.
I'm sure they can say what they like. But yesterday evening at the Vigyan Bhavan, I spoke to many of the young Indian makers from the south, and so they're very impressed with your film.
They were there?
They're from Kerala. I stayed. Yes.
We saw the ceremony on television, but naturally after that it was stopped. We saw the prizes.
Yes.
Well, how long will you stay in Calcutta?
I just came today and I leave tomorrow. It's awful. I'm so tired.
Where are you going tomorrow? Another fest, one time more.
No, yes, I've been in 78 the first time.
Shortage, power failure. From 12:30 there has been no power. This is generator now running. This
You
is
have a
Honda.
generator on the house, or the apartment has a generator?
Yes. Only my flat has a generator.
I see.
It's terrible.
It's terrible, yes.
If this happens in winter, what's going to happen in summer?
Why, in summer it's worse because of the nuisance?
No, winter there's less consumption of electricity. You see, people don't use the fans at all.
No air conditioners are.
Air conditioners are not here.
Summers.
It's disastrous, I think, absolutely disastrous. And now this was a very quiet neighborhood. Now the main road has been dug up because of subway. So all the traffic is now diverted. So I have a very noisy
Very
road.
difficult. And where do you work? Here in this room? You work here in this room? You work?
Yes.
It's very difficult.
Look at this.
And from morning to night. When do you?
No, this is a peak hour. This is a peak hour, really.
But you work in the evening or you work in the morning more?
I work all the time.